Having me.
Welcome back. Do you have any trouble getting over here with the construction?
Luckily I'm across the street from you, so it's not too bad. But I commute every day just like everyone else, so I see it just like our residents here. So, yeah, day by day.
All right. Well, we're going to go through some of the projects, but before we do that, one you just announced is due to start next week, and I think that's going to be affecting a lot of people. The Brown Street from Denton to High Street.
Yes, yeah, we're going to be doing a mill and overlay. Right now it's contingent on reopening of the Michigan and Cooper intersection because we don't want to have too many closures in place while we handle another closure. So we want to be reasonable with the construction that we do, but be mindful, this is probably the busiest construction season that we've had in years and years. So we're doing what we can. We're being respectful with the local residents here, and we're trying to get our work done in a timely and safe manner too as well.
Yeah, so it really is, it's a catch-22. People want new roads, we all want nice roads, but they got to close in order to, yeah. All right, let's talk about, well, the MLK Equality Trail. I think that's the first one we're going to take a look at. And I think there's a couple of spots where we've got work going on.
Yeah. So what you're looking at now is a cyclist using the Martin Luther King Equality Trail. And we're actually working on two segments. We are going on a section from Weatherwax Drive up to the Optimist Shelter. And then we're also working on a portion between Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Merriman Street. These are two of the final portions that we intend to reconstruct for Martin Luther King Equality Trail. And overall, it's a 3-year program, and we're on the twilight of that program, where we're reconstructing about 3 miles, extending from Weatherwax Drive all the way to Merriman Street. And 2 years ago, if you recall, Bart, we've done the middle section between West Ave and Prospect. And then last year, we branched out from both those ends, going from Prospect up to MLK, as well as from West Ave down to the Optimist Shelter. And this year we're just tackling both of those remaining sections, going from the Optimist Shelter down the Weatherwax and then up to MLK, up to Merriman Street. So we should have this whole section up and open the traffic to pedestrians on or well before Labor Day, which is great because we know how important this trail is to our cyclists that you just saw, to our pedestrians and commuters, everyone who uses this day to day.
Yeah, and really there is some tough workarounds with the one particularly at Elnora Mormon Park. You've got construction happening at the cross where the trails cross High Street and Merriman, I believe. Yeah. And so to go detour around that if you're on a bike or pushing a stroller, it's a long detour.
That is probably one of our heavily congested areas in regards to construction zoning goes. I will say that we have expedited the schedule for MLK to Merriman. All that concrete is placed already for the trail, so we'll get that up, open the traffic much sooner than the Weatherwax to Optimist Shelter portion.
And I've noticed that they are working on weekends on that project.
That's the exact intent, just to get that open, get those orange barrels out of the way so we can make it look much more pleasing to our community. I
guess and it is a more complicated and time-consuming project to pour concrete than it is to lay asphalt.
Yeah, no, once you have a specialty contractor, I mean, they can place concrete. The only contingency with concrete is it needs to set for about 7 days. It needs to cure, it needs to gain strength before you can use it. And in regards to the counterpart of asphalt, once you place it, you compact it, it's ready to go right quick. So, yeah.
All right. We've got let's take a look at the next clip. We've got some street construction. And this
looks like the Martin Luther King Jr. Drive reconstruction project that we got here.
Oh yeah, there's dominoes there.
Yep, yeah. So this project is a major 2-phase effort to reconstruct Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, beginning at Morrell Street and extending 1 mile south down to South Street. And given its size and complexity, we are spreading this project out over 2 years. And phase 1 between High Street and Morrell Street just kicked off back in May. But the contractor, they have many crews working on site. They've been awfully busy to get a grasp of this project. We're reconstructing or replacing the water main. We're replacing the distribution and transmission of the water main components. We're replacing the sanitary sewer, the storm sewer. We're reconstructing the street. We're reconfiguring the street too to make it more safer to our commuters as well as our pedestrians crossing as well. We're adding an additional parking lane for our businesses down there. We are adding new street lighting, new trees, so it's getting the complete works. I will let you know, put Street View on now and then take a look 2 years later and take a look at the Street View, and it's going to be night and day from what you see.
You won't recognize it.
No, but yeah, our contractor's been busy. They've installed and tested the water distribution main. They've connected the water service lines from each home. Their copper service line, I should say, because we replaced all of those lines last year. We connected those to the citywide, or to the water main, and that's already connected to the citywide distribution system.
Do you have utility contractors like Consumers or AT&T that are having to dig under and put stuff down there?
Most of their stuff was overhead, so they already did transition and move their infrastructure so we can go straight ahead. And so right now we are on track to be on pace for completing substantially this project from High to Morel by the end of the year.
All right. Yesterday we talked about the lead service connection, the giant project that's multi-year, but there's also some water distribution and water transmission work that's being done. I think on Morel Street, that's where we've got, I think that whole area, it's construction city.
Yeah, that's about accurate. So what we got going on is we do have a crew on Morel Street between Elm Avenue and Hupp Avenue, and we are replacing the century-old water transmission main with a new 16-inch ductile iron pipe. And the contractor, they mobilized to the site about 3 weeks ago, but they started at the Elm Avenue intersection and started installing water transmission main extending westward on Morel. They already passed Locust Street, and right now they're installing water main just underneath the railroad tracks currently. And then from there, they will continue about 1 or 2 weeks. They'll extend all the way to Hupp Avenue, and then they'll restore everything from the curb and the sidewalk, anything that they disturbed, that they will replace. But once Morel Street is back up and open to traffic, they're going to perform the exact same operations on Hupp Avenue between Morel Street and Washington Avenue. We're replacing the water transmission there too as well.
So that stretch of East Morel is it's a very light trafficked street and probably hasn't affected a lot of people over there by Lafier Forge and on towards the rail yard on Elm. Yeah. The Hupp, when that happens, that road, I believe, is there a brick surface on Hupp?
Yeah, so there is a brick surface on Hupp between Washington and Park. That brick surface is exposed, but we are installing the water transmission main just south of the curb in that portion. So most of that brick will remain, but we do have to do some tie-ins and such. So you'll see some crossings that will replace with conventional asphalt or concrete, but most of the brick will remain.
All right, and also on 7th Street, we've got some water distribution or transmission work.
Yeah, this one just kicked off last week here, and this is 7th Street between Christie Avenue and Carlton Boulevard. And what we're doing is pretty similar to 10 other streets and 13 other blocks. We're replacing the water distribution main pipe beneath the street. And these 10 streets, including 7th Street, have all one thing in common. They have a century-old 4-inch antiquated water main that's just too undersized for today's fire flow and water pressure quality. So we're taking each of these streets, 10 streets total this year, and we're replacing the 4-inch with new 8-inch ductile iron pipe. And so that's what you just saw right now. They're using directional drilling methods. They just kicked it off, so they got about another week left before they start connecting to the citywide distribution system. Granted, they do have to test it for bacteria and pressure testing, make sure it's free of leaks, but yeah.
And I know there's an MDOT project that's going on with the bridge and the tie-in on East Michigan Avenue that I think a lot of that we'd hope to have some of it opened up by this point, but we're a little bit behind, it looks like.
Not terribly. You are correct. Just about a few days behind. We actually poured the concrete on Monday at the intersection of Michigan and Cooper. But as I mentioned about the one component about concrete, it needs to sit. It needs to set for about 7 days, get some good strength on it before we can ride on it.
All right. Progress. It's happening. And we've got a lot more to go, and then likely even possibly Monday, the Brown Street through the Cascades.
Yeah, it's probably towards the later of next week.
Okay.
But that's coming along. So
great. Jeff, thanks for all the updates.
Yeah. Thank you, Bart. Thank you.
Jeff Crow, Assistant City Engineer, City of Jackson.